Howdy! Welcome to today's Making Sales Social Live. I'm here with Bryn Tillman. How are you today, Bryn?
I'm great, Stan. I'm calling in from my daughter's kitchen. So I have a little bit of a different background today and maybe even a little audio, but I'm excited to be here with you.
Yep, but it's working. So let's see. Today we're going to be talking about notifications,
Mhm.
and they're often overlooked, but we want to talk about the why you should spend some time having a look at them and where to find them because they are in a couple of different places. So first, Bryn, your thoughts on why take the time to look at notifications these days?
Yeah, I love that question. I mean, notifications are little triggers to start conversations,
Yeah.
right? And we'll kind of go through what kinds of notifications and what to do with them to start that conversation. But the biggest question we get from folks is I'm on LinkedIn every day, and you guys talk about starting conversations, but how do I do that? And notifications and leveraging my network, which is old notifications moved to a new tab. Um, it really are opportunities to, they're triggers, right? Whether it's because someone that you've double belled shared content, we can talk a little bit about that, or maybe it's someone that engaged on your content. I will tell you, and this is what one of the things I'm excited about talking about today, is I had someone engage over the weekend on something that I posted 2 months ago. So if
Wow.
it had not come into notifications, I would not have known that a new person engaged. So like
Yeah.
that's and that's where the new LinkedIn algorithm has old posts coming up, especially when people are engaging on other content in that genre. So 2 months, and I'm like, wow, I don't even remember posting this, and I'm getting engagement from folks. So let's jump in a little bit into tactically what that looks like.
Yep. So, couple places starting in terms of where to find them. You'll see them up at the top, just to the right of messaging, in terms of your when you're in LinkedIn. And so notifications, you've got all, you have jobs, you have my post. Now, Bryn, one thing that I've noticed, and I guess the way they have this organized with jobs, is I never see anything in jobs. So to look at change jobs, you're going to have to go to the other tab that we'll talk about.
Yeah, that jobs is if you've told LinkedIn the types of companies you want to work for or the types of jobs. So it's not change jobs of our network. It's job postings that match what we might be looking for. I have, I think, chief learning officer in. So the only thing that I ever get, not that I'm looking, I was just playing with what comes up here. So the only thing that I ever get is chief learning officer opportunities in that jobs. And really, I spend much more time in the all for under notifications. I almost never jump into the my posts or mentions because I'm looking at all the unread notifications that are in my notifications feed. Now, I believe there are two different views for people right now. So the traditional view is until you read it, it's highlighted in blue. And then when you read it, the blue becomes white. There's a new look where there is a blue dot that's next to the unread. It's not a blue message anymore. There's a blue dot, and when you read it or you click through it, the blue dot goes away. So, and that's in the new view. So you can take a look and see, do you have the new view or the old view? But once you're there, you're going to see folks like if you, let's say you've clicked attend on an event, which some of the folks that are live today did that, they will see that notification come in to it'll come in as the event has started. So that, so that it's a reminder. But you're also going to see if people mention you in a post. If someone, now you can go to somebody's profile by default. When you connect with someone, you automatically follow them. But if you go to the profile and you click on the bell, it's going to say most relevant is the default. But if you want to see all their posts and you click it, I call it the double bell. When they post something, it'll come into notifications. So if you're actively prospecting someone, or you're actively engaging with a networking partner that you really want to bring value to, if you go in and double bell them, you'll get notified when they share content.
Great. Okay. That's helpful, because it's interesting. I look at my posts just to check and see who's commenting, to make sure that I respond, and also I look at mentions, just in case someone's tagged me. I don't want to miss it. So, yep, different ways you can use this.
Yeah, the other thing I'll say is, if you are an admin of a company profile, you'll see if there are new followers of that page, or if you have a newsletter. You'll see how many new subscribers you get once a week. It'll give you a list. If you want to welcome them or connect with them on LinkedIn, you can easily click through there. So LinkedIn is relatively proactive in letting you know these triggers to start conversations.
Yes, and keep in mind, this is the free LinkedIn that we're talking about.
Yes.
We always talk about how proactive Sales Navigator is in terms of alerts and surfacing opportunities for conversations. But even in the free LinkedIn, just take the time to look at your notifications on a daily basis. If you're super active prospecting, you may want to do it more than once a day.
Yeah, and I'll say just live, so I love this. I think his name is Saeed, just reshared this live, and I got a notification. So thank you so much, Saeed, for sharing this live, right? And so as I'm looking at this, and what, he shared it, but I'm also now seeing all the reactions and the comments inside of that. So we also have, let me see, we have, yep, so he just actually posted sharing it. Sharing live on LinkedIn would be great. That's awesome. Thank you, my friend. It's awesome. So there's another area, though, that which you're going to talk about in a second, that a lot of those traditional notifications, like birthdays and anniversaries and job changes, that used to be in the notifications tab, have moved. So I'll throw that back to you to talk about.
Yeah, so LinkedIn didn't discontinue them, they just moved them. And it's not always intuitive. So what you'll want to do is go to My Network at the top. So, about 3 over to the left from notifications. And that's where you'll see job changes. As Bryn mentioned, these are people in your network who've changed jobs. That's where you can see that, as well as birthdays, work anniversaries. If someone has gotten a new degree, it's education.
Yeah, if they graduated.
Yeah. So as you just mentioned, all of those are potential conversation starters.
Yeah, it's interesting, Stan, when you click through the My Network, grow, it'll have 2 tabs. It'll have grow and catch up. So the grow is going to be all the outstanding connection requests for you to follow their newsletters or their company pages, or if you're invited to an event, that's all going to come into the grow piece, right, of the My Network. The catch-up piece that you're talking about is like very powerful way and very easy to engage. So let me just talk about birthdays and or work anniversaries. If you choose one of them, and I wouldn't do both because it's a lot, but if you choose one of them, you will touch, and you go in every day and act on that, you will touch everyone in your network every year. Like, you're guaranteed to engage with them even if we just said birthdays. But here's the the challenge folks have. If you click congratulations on a new role and you just send the message that's auto populated, they're getting tons of these. They're getting tons of happy birthdays. They're getting tons of congratulations. You really want to slow down your outreach to speed up the outcome. So you want to personalize that as much as possible. And, even on a birthday, just sharing something, it might be you check out when you first connected, which you can do on their profile. So I say, Nicole, happy birthday. We've been connected for 7 years. I'm sorry this is the first time I'm wishing you a happy birthday, but I plan on keeping it up. Or something fun like that. Just make it personal so it doesn't feel like you just click congrats and send.
That is such a great tip because everybody gets swamped by the AI generated response.
Yeah, and they won't even remember that you sent it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the other thing is, keep in mind, you might want to create content once a year for each of these. Well, you might have a job change content, maybe a checklist of things that someone in the first 90 days could do that isn't leading with your solution, but leads to it. A birthday, you could say every year on my network's birthday, I like to give them a gift of, and then have some kind of really valuable content. Maybe it's a list of your top podcasts in their industry. I don't know, like you could find content that's valuable to them that's not about pitching your business. Same with work anniversaries. So we work with a ton of financial advisors, and we recommend work anniversaries is what they send out to. And the reason is, a checklist to make sure that your 401k is still aligned with your risk tolerance. Check, do you have any changes? Do you have a kid going to school? Do you have a new grandchild? Like, what happened in the last year? And so this checklist kind of triggers them to think about what changes happened that I might have to go in and look at my financial plan. So things like that are just very powerful resource-driven ways to start conversations.
Yes. Yes. And as you point out, it's worth putting some thought into what you can do to make yourself stand out.
Yes.
And offer value at the same time, if at all possible. Now, one thing we were talking about the grow, and when people send you invitations, if someone has included a note in their invitation, it looks like you can reply without accepting. So if it's someone that you don't know from, and you're curious as far as why they invited you, but LinkedIn is limited the ability to add notes to invitations. If someone has not added a note, is there a way to reply to them without?
Yeah, there is, if on desktop. So there's a little message that will show up underneath their profile that you can message them even if they didn't have a note. So it'll either say reply or message. Challenging that you can't do that on mobile, at least not the last time I looked, because you never know what changes, right? So the last time that I looked, you could only reply before accepting if they had a message. But on desktop, there is a message. So you can send a quick little, Alex, thanks so much for your connection request. Typically only connect with people I know. May I ask how you found me? You can ignore it, but if he responds, it'll come into your inbox.
Yeah. Yeah. So don't worry if you ignore and someone responds, you'll
still get it, even though you ignored them. That's correct.
You'll get it because LinkedIn is trying to drive connections and conversations. They are actively trying to help us. So
most of the time.
Yes.
All right. So let's bring this in for a landing, my friend.
Yep. So just the main thing is keep in mind that that if you've been on LinkedIn for a while and you wondered where birthdays and anniversaries went, they moved some things. So do have a look both at the notifications and my network, and then within my network, both the grow and catch up to keep up with what's going on and take advantage of those opportunities to start conversations. Okay, you will stand out.
I had fun with you today, Stan.
Yes, same here as always. And of course, if this will appear as a podcast as well, of course, if you're listening to it as a podcast, if you want to hear other episodes, just go to socialsaleslink.com/podcast. And we always have events going on all the time. So be sure to check socialsaleslink.com/events for new events that's coming. And just remember, when you're out and about, remember to make your sales social.
We didn't mess that one up. All right, one more time. 1, 2, 3.
Social.